There's a truth that's hard to admit. So many parents out there are loving their children with everything they have, and yet that very love has quietly become the heaviest thing their children carry. Not because the parents are bad, but because no one ever noticed when love slowly turned into pressure. The story today might make you uncomfortable, but there's a good chance you'll see yourself in it. I once met a father. He didn't hit his child. He wasn't absent. He wasn't irresponsible. On the contrary, he was always there, reminding his child to study, reminding them to eat, reminding them to sleep early, reminding them to choose a stable career, reminding them to think about the future. He would say, "I do all this because I love my child." And he truly believed that. But there was one thing he didn't notice. His child was talking less and less. No arguing, no resistance, just no more sharing. One day he asked, "How have you been lately?" His child answered softly, "I'm fine, Dad." But inside that "I'm fine" was an entire distance. No one starts with pressure. Everything begins with good intentions. But over time, love often turns into three familiar forms. Overcaring. Where are you going today? Why are you home so late? Who were you with? Why did you decide that? Not because of distrust, but because of worry. Yet to the child, this no longer feels like care. It feels like being watched. Silent expectations. Parents rarely say outright, "You must be successful." But children always feel it. The disappointed looks, the comparisons with others, the phrases like, "When we were young, we struggled so much." No one is forcing them, but the child understands, if I don't do well, I'll disappoint them. Loving through one's own experience, parents often say, "We've been through life. We know what's best for you." And that's true, but something else is also true. A child's life is not a copy of their parents' life. I once asked an adult child, "What exhausts you the most when you're around your family?" The answer wasn't money, it wasn't responsibility, it was this: the constant feeling that I have to make my parents feel okay. They're not afraid of failing, they're afraid of disappointing their parents. And so, they share less. They choose silence instead of explaining. They handle everything on their own. They create distance just to breathe. Not because they love less, but because being too close feels suffocating. A mother once told me, "I just want my child to have a better life than I did." But then she realized her child no longer shared stories, no longer asked for advice, no longer came back when exhausted. She said, "That's when I understood. Maybe I love my child too tightly." No one taught her how to let go. No book prepared her for that moment. Just one day she realized love was never meant to be a weight someone has to carry. If you're watching this video, you might be a parent or you might be a child. I don't have advice, just a small thought. Sometimes loving more doesn't mean doing more. It means giving each other a little more space to breathe. And maybe children don't need parents to always be right. They just need parents to be there when they need them, without judgment, without fixing, just listening. Some children don't distance themselves because they stop loving their family. They do it because staying close means they can no longer be themselves. If you see yourself somewhere in this story, you're not a bad person. You're just someone who learned to love the only way you were ever loved.